Morning, everybody. Welcome to my daily broadcast for the Power of Connection channel. This is LinkedIn Live with Bobby Umar, and glad to have you here with me today. Today's topic is part two of my theme for this week, which is on public speaking and how to become a professional speaker. Yesterday, I talked about how to, why speaking is so important for every business leader, no matter who you are and where you are in your career. And also I talked about how to get started. Today, I'm going to dive deeper into the aspect of the first step, which is really about personal branding, personal branding, but also more about your speaker brand, your topics, your stories, and things like that. But I want to dive into topics to help you figure that out and understand how that exactly works. So hope you'll join me on that. And if you are here to begin with, happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. Comment below. Let me know where you're from. First of all, you're from. I've seen people from Egypt, Nigeria, Australia, Switzerland, Finland. I haven't seen very many people from South America, but if you're around, let me know where you're from. I'd love to hear that. And then later on, you can then also answer the questions. You can engage people on the feed. You can tag people you think they should be part of this conversation. You can share this on your own pages and invite people to this channel because I'm here every day, 8:30 a.m. Monday to Friday. And on Wednesdays, I do an interview. Tomorrow, I'm doing an interview with Marianne Kerr. We're going to talk about bullying in the workplace, which is going to be a very deep, important topic to get into. So I hope you'll join us for that. In the meantime, I'm just going to do a couple of welcomes before we dive into the content here. So hello to Christopher, Vinay, Vahare, Aisha, a new friend from Pakistan. All right, that's good. Where in Pakistan are you from? Let me know because my family's in Rawalpindi and Islamabad, so that's kind of where they live. Lori from Charlotte, that's great. More people joining in. Christopher's from Toronto. Go Raptors! They start in 2 days. Hopefully, they can beat the odds and beat the Golden State Warriors, who are a really good team. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's get into the topic. And if you have a question along the way, you put them down below too. And if you like what you're hearing, you can like, you can clap, you can heart, you can do all those things. The light bulb and whatever the other one is, that one. You can click all those things, and again, let people know that they're part of this thing. So for now, we're going to assume that you are now doing some public speaking. You get the importance of it because you saw my post yesterday, and now you want to get in. You want to really figure it out. Thank you, Suchi. That's very sweet of you. So you want to get into speaking. So one of the things that I think holds a lot of people back is they haven't got a clear sense. Morning, Tommy. They haven't got a clear sense of their topics. Your topics are very important to figure out exactly kind of what your brand is and how you position yourself. Now, here's the big secret about topics is that every single one of you can probably have dozens of topics, right? So, I said before yesterday, Aisha's from Lahore. Okay, cool. DI Khan, I know where that is. I've been there. So some of you, most of you, particularly the ones of you who've had like a ton of experience, if you had 20 years experience, let's say you've done like 4 jobs and you've had two different careers and you maybe done some entrepreneurship, you probably have a ton of stuff you can talk about, both in terms of professional but also personal. So, for me, I've been a professional speaker now for 14 years, and on my speaker profile for National Speakers Bureau, I have 6 main topics. Now, that for me, because I've been around a lot, that's a lot. Most people have 3. Some people have just 1, but most people have about 3. So I have 6, but I have other ones I don't even talk about. I could talk about bullying. I talk about how to deal with toxicity on the web, online, and Twitter and things like that. I could talk about parenting. I could talk about health journeys. I could talk about a lot of different things. That I could talk about entrepreneurship. There's lots of things within my my wheelhouse that I can actually get into, but I choose to focus on a few. Now, for you, the same thing you have to figure out. You have to put some rigor into understanding what are the things that you want to talk about. So let's start with a few things. So one is you look at your professional life, right? So in your professional life, if one of the things that I like to do with clients, and because I run a speaker mastermind where I teach people how to build their speaking profiles and careers and build a system, right? And one of the things you can do is you basically look at every single job. Thanks, Ashish. Good to see you. Every single job you've had, and then say from that, what is the number 1 lesson you got from that job? Right? And number 2, what is the best thing you were known for in terms of your expertise and experience and insights? Okay, so you do that for each job. Then for every personal experience, so when I take people through my personal branding journey, I get people to go through the experience stories of their life, right? So you look at all the amazing things that happen to you. So for example, when I did my MBA, when I had my first corporate job, when I had my first engineering job, when I ran my musical theater company. Those are all the big moments that when I became a parent. What in those situations, what was the key learning for me? And what did I find I was really, really good at? And so already, just from my own life, I'm now generating probably about 10 to 15 different topic ideas just from that brainstorming. Hey, Rich, good to see you. We're going to chat later. I'm excited about that. So you're already going to generate like 5, 10, maybe 15 ideas that could be part of your topics, right? So that's the first thing. You want to brainstorm that list of potential things you could talk about. There's going to be some that you already know you want to talk about, and I get that. But I think you want to go through the rigor and the process to figure this out. Okay. Now, once you have that list, and again, you can throw in even more things. Like, what if things your friends say, "Oh, Bobby, you're so good at doing this. Maybe you should do that for a living." Or, "Hey, Phil, you're so good at talking about this. Maybe you could do that." And you take those pieces of information and you kind of write them all down. Now you have this big list of 5, 10, 15, 20 different things. Now, the second thing you do is you look at themes and buckets. Are some of these kind of similar? Are some of them, kind of on the same topic? Like, for example, let's say, one came up networking, another one was building relationships, another one was team dynamics, another one was, communication or connecting with others. Right away, there's a bucket there of kind of that social dynamic, social capital piece that maybe I can then talk about. Or maybe there's ones around, you'll find ones around ambition or drive or hustle, and you see that theme, and so therefore 3 or 4 of those buckets can go into that one thing. So that's a good thing, because it means that across your personal and professional life and across your history, certain themes are coming up that make sense for you as a speaker. So, what you want to do is, okay, now you look at those different things. And again, if you have questions as I'm describing this, or you like it, like, comment, love, heart, you can certainly say hi to each other. There's a question already. Are you doing this on my phone? Yes, that's my phone. And over here is my laptop. Well, so I can, my laptop is, I can't do this. My laptop is over there because I can see people's comments, and the phone's over here. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, people are asking good questions. And again, if you have more questions about, what I'm talking about in terms of, like, actually, why don't you share below? Like, if you were going to be a speaker, or if you were to speak at an event or be in a panel or whatever, what is it you think people want to hear from you? Like, what kind of topics of expertise or experiences that you'd want to share? So share those below, because I want to see what those are and give you a sense of kind of where we're going. So let me know what they are. But going back to the thing, so you now have your 5, 10, 15, 20 list of brainstorm stuff, personal, professional. Then you bucketize some of them into like themes and buckets that make sense, because maybe that brings you down to 10. Maybe it brings you down to 5. Maybe it brings you down to just 2. Although that's probably not as likely. I think you need to also really dive into honestly being true to yourself and valuing yourself. You have a lot to offer, and I see people who have so many people that they devalue themselves. So one of the things you can do to get around that is to go to your friends. Go to like 3 or 4 of your best friends. Say, "Listen, guys, I'm thinking about doing more speaking. What do you think are some things I can talk about?" All right, so Rich talked about leadership development. Love that. That's one of mine as well. So I love that one. In fact, it's one of the ones I first started out with back in the day. And I also do leadership development through DYPB, Discover Your Personal Brand, my startup. So, you may have to go to people and see what they think about your value and what you bring to the table and what your topics are. That to me is important. Then once that happens, so now you have a good sense of what your big ones are. Now, how do you pick the ones? Well, what I like to do is, number one, pick the one that you feel super excited to talk about. Like the one that just gets you like, "Oh, I'm just so excited to talk about this." Whatever that one is, that's a good one. We may want to refine it and hone it and get the title, just nice, and the subtitle really nice and compelling. But if that's something you love, like, so for me, the one that was really compelling, I want to talk about people and how we engage and how we connect. And so when I first started out, the one that first came out was networking. I was always good at networking. I was a natural networker, and it was something that the world needed and people are talking about. So that's the first one I did, right? So for me, like, you have to figure that the one that really excites you, that's got to be one of the ones. Okay, now the process I'm gonna take you through is I'm gonna suggest let's find 3. Okay, we're gonna find 3 topics that work really well. Now, and I'm seeing a bunch of questions, which is great. I will get to them shortly because I want to make sure I finish this. Then I'll go through the questions. Okay, so try to focus on 3. Okay, and what I want you to think about for 3, I want you to think about a triangle. Okay, so a triangle of three topics that all kind of relate to each other. Now, if they don't relate, that's okay. Like if you want to talk, I want to talk about yoga and I want to talk about sales. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But usually there's a way to link them together somehow, right? The passion for yoga and why it's important, meditation and being zen and being at mindfulness. You can apply some of that philosophy to sales. It's possible. I'm sure of it. And I always try to coach speakers into getting them into that big 3. So I'll share you what mine is. Okay, so now I remember I had 6 topics, but that's fine. But I really have the big 3, that I'm excellent at, I love doing, and people always ask me to do. And they are, so my brand is, and within that triangle, there's the brand of you as a speaker. So my brand is, guess what? Power of Connection, because that's what the channel's called, because I'm a good connector, and so Power of Connection is the brand. And so what are the 3 topics? Well, first one is personal branding, which is connection with the self. The second one is networking and relationship building, which is connection with others. And the third one is digital marketing influence and social media, which is connection with the world. And so the Power of Connection fits in the 3 main topics and expertise that I have, and that's what's in my headline for LinkedIn. So that when people hire me as a speaker, those are the 3 main things they're thinking about for me. But sometimes I get hired for business development, entrepreneurship, or other things, but it's usually related to those 3 things, the Power of Connection. And that's my brand, that's my story, and those are my 3 topics. And for each of those topics, I have the main thing that I talk about the headline, which is, for example, digital influence, how to authentically connect with the world, right? And that's something that every brand and company and individual leader kind of wants to know, right? Authentic networking, how to create connection that leads to results and impacts in your career and life, things like that. And so you have that first thing, and then you have that subtitle that describes what the topic is. So for you, what I want you to do is I want you to think about your 3 main topics and how they relate to each other. Sometimes there's usually 1 main topic and then 2 that kind of are subtopics of the main one. So let's say, for example, your main topic is, I want to talk about HR disruption. I just made that up. HR disruption. And then, below that you have 2 subtopics where one's about organizational development, the other one's about building effective teams, and they all kind of work into the whole HR disruption as your main topic, right? So that's kind of how I would do it, and that's how I explain to my clients and my mastermind coaching group in terms of how to build that up. I then work with them in a more detailed way to help them figure out the ideal topics. I remember working on with Brian about this. He's one of my clients, and he struggled for a while, and he kept going all over the place. And finally, we got back to the 3 big ones that he mentioned, which is kind of cool. I'm very excited that he has them now. So that's kind of what I do in terms of your topics. Now, at the same time, your topics also have to excite you. They have to be something you can feel good about. They have to be something that people care about. Like, you can't be like, well, my topic is how amazing mouses are. Okay, but can you build a career off of talking about mouses? Probably not. Of board games, maybe that'd be fun, but usually not so much. So it's got to make sense in terms of what the world needs. So make sure, and once you have those 3. And you can have, again, if you only have 1 or 2, that's fine. If you have 4 or 5, that's fine. But as soon as you have that group of topics, go out there and share it with the world. Put it on LinkedIn and say, I listened to Bobby's LinkedIn Live broadcast, and he said to come up with my 3. Here's what they are. I'd love to get feedback. Tag me in this one, because then I'll like your post, and my 30,000 followers can look at it too. And put it out there, man. Put it out there and get feedback from people. That's going to help you tremendously. So now I'm giving you, and then once you have that, then you can come with get your top 3 topics, your speaker brand, and work on that profile. And then, of course, later on this week, we're gonna cover the other stuff in terms of putting together marketing tools and doing some outreach and getting and negotiating those gigs, working with an agent, things like that. So that's the main topic. Now I'm going to dive into Q&A, your comments, see what you have. And again, if you like what you're hearing, tag people, bring them in, share us on your page, and let's grow this channel, and let's grow the community. And feel free to add people. Okay, so questions. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, oh, so many questions. Okay. Well, are you doing this on the phone? Answer that one already. Hey, Bobby, do you have any tips on storytelling? Leaders selling their vision is a tough one. Well, I mean, storytelling is something I've already done topics on, so I kind of know that one already.